third part of the Our Shining workshop. And again, this is organized in conjunction with the Data Science Program and the American Statistics Association. And for those of us who have been joining us from the first part and the second part, you all agree with me that it has been very resourceful. So without further ado, we want to call the resource person, William Ejapon, to take us to the final part of the Our Shining. William, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I want to also welcome everybody and thanks for staying with us through the various sessions. So today is actually our last session. And if you missed out on the first two sessions, the good news is that we still have a recording of them available. And as we proceed, I'll be sharing the link to my YouTube channel over here so that you can watch it later. Today, before we begin, today is you have to buckle up because I want you to have a portfolio, okay, at least if nothing, by the end of this, you should have a portfolio of your own Shiny application, okay, hosted up online for everybody to use. So I would like for you to do a few things for me. I'm going to put a chat. So first of all, I want you to create an account. Okay, so as part of today's activities, the main activity for today is to be able to deploy Shiny applications. Okay, from our previous lesson, we went through a full-blown app. Okay, so if you weren't able to go through the whole code, here is a link. I'm going to provide you a link to the application that we developed together for the Irish plant. So let me get you that. Once you get a link, please go ahead to download the codes if you don't have it already. So here, let me see. Okay. All right, so you see this. So please, everybody, please go to your chat and follow the link to the GitHub repository for this workshop. So I have all the codes available, and specifically, I want you to download, open the Iris app folder, and then download the app.r. Okay, that is the file containing the codes, okay, the Shiny codes. So this file, and don't hesitate to let me know if you have any challenges, okay, accessing this file. App.r, you should see this, what I'm showing here. Can everybody see? Hi, I want to know that we are here. Can I hear hi from some of you?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, good. So please follow the link and get yourself this file. Once you follow the link, go to the Iris app, and inside the folder, you're going to see two main things. One is the app.r and the other one is www. So first, click on the app.r. Once you click that, it should give you an option right here to the right side of the page, okay, upper right, that I'm moving the mouse over it. So you click on that, it says download raw file. So you click on that, it should download the R file for you. Okay, and then once you are through with that, please let me know, okay, if you are not through with that, you didn't get that right. So I'm assuming, if you are not saying anything, I'm assuming that we are all doing good. So you go back to the main Iris folder again, and then you click on this www folder. Inside it, download the files that we have, okay? You can click on it. I think it's just one file for demonstration. So just click on the irisflower.jpg. Click on that. It should give you option to download, just as we did for the app.app. Okay, so the same process, you should be able to download the iris flag. Right. So once you do that, okay, you have these files downloaded, just go to any safe place on your computer, okay, where you normally store your files, and create a folder and give it a name Iris app, okay, just as I have it here. So you navigate to your computer. I already have mine, okay. If I come to my UTEP workshop folder, I have the Iris app. So I want you to create the same thing, okay? Wherever you've been storing your files, just go there, create the Iris app folder. You can decide to call it anything, okay? But the only necessary convention is that don't leave spaces, okay? Don't leave spaces in your folder names, because the Shiny will try to use that later when we are deploying. So please don't leave space. If you want space, just use a hyphen in your folder names. Is everyone up to this level? Are we all able to get the files, and do we have our Iris folder ready? If you have the folder ready, just move, okay, copy the files you just downloaded. You have it downloaded? Good. Okay, so just create a folder, named it, an optional name is Iris app, okay, and paste the file there. And make sure you also have your irisflower.jpg. So those are the two files. But one thing to take notice, after your Iris app, the Iris app folder, that's the main folder you should have, okay, for the app. And then inside it, you paste your app.r. Then the next thing I want you to do is to create another folder inside this Iris app, okay? You can see that as I open my folder, my main folder for the app, I have the www folder. So create that file, okay? It makes it easy, as we saw from our last session. It makes it easy for your Shiny app to be able to follow up on the resources that you try to use in the app. So just create a folder, name it www, and save the Iris flower, okay? And it's a similar process in the future if you are creating your own app and you want to use some other resources like images like this, or it could be other R resource files, okay? So one main folder that you will need is the www. And then if you have other dependencies which are R scripts, you create a folder and name it R, okay, with a capital R, and you save all those dependencies there. All right, so if you have that ready, the next thing I want you to do is to follow this second link, okay? You need to create an account to be able to have access to the POSIT shiny.io server, okay? So I'm going to give you the link, but you can also just type shiny.io, okay, and go to that page. You can as well follow this link. I just pasted it in the chat, shiny.io. Shiny.io, that is the POSIT, okay, POSIT online platform that gives you access to a server, okay, online server where you can host your apps for deployment. And by default, every account has you have free apps, free 5 apps that you can upload or deploy. So it should be looking something like this. If you follow that link, it should be looking something like this, and create an account. So just go to sign up. You can sign up with your Google. Okay, I think that would be the easiest. Just sign up with Google. Or if you want to use any other email like your UTEP email, then just follow these steps up here. Just enter your email, your password, your first name, your last name, and as simple as that, you should get an account. So I have my account already. If I'm going fast, please let me know. You can stop me, okay, at any point. So we are creating a POSIT account, okay, to help us deploy our app. And your first app is the Iris app, okay? If you worked on it over the weekend, since last time we both work on it, you can use that instance. But if you don't have it, you don't have your own instance, like I said, just follow the link to my GitHub repository, download this app.r, and then go inside this folder, download the Iris Flower, and save all to a folder. You give it a name Iris app, just as I have it here, and paste them. And the next thing you have to do is get yourself a free account on the POSIT website. Do you all have our account? Any difficulties, any challenges? Okay, so if you have your account, go ahead to log in. So I'm going to sign in. And here's another trick, every account has access to 5 apps. Okay, so if at any point you exhaust the 5 apps for free and you want more and you're not ready to pay, maybe you're not working for a company yet that's ready to sponsor the hosting, then what you can do is you can create another account with a different email, and that gives you additional 5. So I have, as it stands, I think I have like 3 accounts with POSIT. Okay. I hope that they don't see this video. Okay, to limit that privilege. So I'm going to sign in. Okay, so okay, I'll just sign in with this. I want to sign in here for you to see the interface. So I already hosted one app on this. So if this is your first time creating the shinyapp.io account, it should show you something similar to this. Let me go here. I think I took a screenshot. So for the first time, you should see something like this. Yes, you should be seeing something like this, okay? For the first time if you don't have any account yet. Okay, so the steps to deploy your app. The main thing is getting yourself the account on the shinyapp.io website. And the next thing is to connect your local system, okay, or your local computer or your RStudio to the shinyapp.io server. So how do you do that? It's very simple. So the first step, I want you to go to your R, okay? Once again, assuming that you have got yourself the account. Let me know, can anyone tell us, has anyone been able to get the account? How many of us have been able to create the account? Can I hear you? Should I mention names? Okay.
Able to do that.
Evans, do you have your account?
Yeah, I was able to do that.
Okay, Ashley,
Yeah, I think so.
you think
I
so?
joined in a bit late, but I just follow what you did, and
So
I
you
have
have
that
the account.
pages. Yeah, I guess
Okay,
so.
great. Awesome. So the next thing we have to do, we are not leaving anyone behind today, okay? The next thing we have to do is to go to your R studio. Once again, I'm assuming that you have R studio, and that's a coding environment, okay, for your R. So open your R studio and install the package RS Connect. An easy way to install packages in R is to come down here, okay? There's packages pane. depending on however you've configured your RStudio, it may be somewhere else. But you should be able to have a window like this, where it says files, plots, packages, hub, viewer, something like that. So just click on the packages. And then once you click that, it should show up two options. One is install and the other is update. So click on the install. And over here, you type the name of the package you want to install. Okay, so the package is called RS Connect. Okay, as you start typing, it should even pop up RS Connect and click install. I already have it installed. Okay, but it shouldn't take long. Click install. Let me even just click it. Okay, to install it anyway. It says what? Restart. No, I don't want to. So installing, you see, it shouldn't take long. All right, so the R Connect is installed. And okay, I'll just pause for a bit. Do we have the RS Connect package installed? So these are the steps. You can even follow it here. Okay, install your RS Connect. Then the next step is what? We do the authorization. So we have to authorize our local system to be able to have access to the POSIT server. Today, I'm going to be asking for your feedback a lot, okay? Do we have the R Connect installed? Please, we have just an hour and a half to do this, okay? And also go through the project that I assigned.
Yes, I have it installed.
Okay, good. So the next thing is what? Authorization. So you go back to the Shiny App IO account, the one that you just logged in, and you should be seeing an interface like this. Okay, so go down to step 2 and then click on copy to clipboard. Okay, you click on this, copy to clipboard. Click on this link right here, copy to clipboard. There should be a pop-up window. And in the pop-up window, once that window pops up, just do Control-C to copy if you're on Windows, or Command-C to copy if you are on Mac. So that should copy this right here for you. Okay, something like this with the secret. Okay, another option, if you don't want to use that copy to clipboard, you can click on the show secret, okay, to display the secret, and then you can go ahead to copy this whole code. All right, so just giving you some time to do this. Okay. All right, so just copy that. If you copied it successfully, go back to your R console and just paste that code you copied. Okay, paste the code. This thing should be looking something like this. Copy it from your account and paste it in your R console. Okay, you paste it like that. And then the secret, okay, you don't want to show your secret. So that secret is hidden by default. But if you click show secret, it should be able to show for you. And then if you use the same procedure that I use, the way I copied it without using the copy to clipboard, you can just come here and replace this whole thing with that secret code. Okay, it should be some string of numbers. And once you do that, you just run. Okay, so make sure you have this whole thing RS connects, : set account info, and then check to see, you see your name here, okay? Your name should be the name. And then if you have multiple accounts in the same name, they will assign an ID. That's why I have this ID, because I have multiple accounts with them. And then your token should be available. Your secret should also be available. And the next thing to do just step at the end of it and hit enter, okay? Hit the enter key to run. Okay, so run that. I want one of you to share the screen. Who would volunteer to do that? I want someone who was able to follow the procedure that I just outlined. I just showed you. Who is ready to do that? Just share the screen. Kwesi?
I'm still working around it. Let me do it.
Okay, can you share your screen so that we all see what you are doing?
I beg, I'll let Evans share his screen. Evans, can you please help me?
Evans.
Okay, okay.
All right. So this is an important step that you'll be coming back to each and every time, okay? Once you create an app, you have to show it out there. That's the whole point. Okay, we want to be able to share our work. Dr. Zamora, can you please allow Evans to share screen?
Yeah, anybody can share.
Okay, good, good. So Evans,
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
All right. So basically, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Okay, so you were able to run that. Okay,
Yeah.
so you see the code right here. If you follow the step just inside your account, you click on copy to clipboard. It should, and then you go ahead to issue the command control C or command C. It should be able to give you this. Then you come to your console, just paste it. Okay, control V or command V. And now I think Evans has been authenticated successfully. Can you run your app? Just save what is the app that I shared with you?
Yes.
The
I now have
app.r.
to open it to run it.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I downloaded it. I created a folder, but I
Okay.
now have to open it so that I can run it.
Okay, so that folder, let's go here. Just go to wherever you are, go to file, click on the file. The file, go to the menu, the top menu, click file, go to open file, and
Yeah.
let's point it to that folder you created.
I was trying to do that.
There's some feedback. I don't know if it's from you or someone else.
Yeah, it's from him, but it's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so wherever you save that app,
Okay.
okay, so Iris app, yes, open the Iris app and your www, go back, let's copy, let's correct that. So everybody, this is the setup. Make sure your www folder is inside the app. Okay, so he's going to put it right there. Great. Now click on the app. No, click on app.
Okay, let me go back.
Go back, click on app and open. Yes. So it should be here. Great. Now go ahead to run. Click on the run app. Let's see if everything is working for you before we deploy it.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. So let's see. Good, good. Check to see if everything is working. Try some of the interactions.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Evans.
Okay, good. Can you maximize your page so that it shows very well?
Yes.
Good.
Is it
Awesome.
visible?
So this is your first app. Now let's see how we can put it online. So we go back to our studio.
All right.
Go back to our studio and then stop. Just click on the red button that says stop at the
I
console.
can use Control
Just stop it. Stop the app. There's a red button.
C.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see the red button, but I was trying to.
Good. Okay, so to deploy your app, you have to go back to the RS Connect package that we downloaded. Okay, you realize that Evans, can you scroll up a little bit at the console? We just want to see that command you run. No, the last command before we run the app.
Yeah, this.
So
Yeah,
if you
this.
watch carefully, you can see that we are just calling a function. The RS Connect is like any packages that you use, okay? If you don't want to do library RS Connect, and you just want to call a specific function, this is how you do it. You just call the name of the package, RS Connect, in this case, then colon, there is a function, set account. Okay, so there's another function that we use to deploy. So we are going to do that. So just click your escape to go to the current prompt at the console. Now type RS Connect, colon. Just hit enter. Once it pops up, hit enter. Okay, no, you delayed. Now bring your double colon. Good. And type app deploy. Okay, start typing deploy. Deploy app. Okay, you can deploy API, you can deploy app. API is another thing. Later, if you are interested, we can look into that. Okay, so deploy app. So now, once you run this code, okay, you see, automatically it's going to point to your folder. Okay, it needs your folder, the folder for your app. In this case, the Iris app. So before we run this, Evans, can you copy the whole code that you wrote? I want to demonstrate something. So the quickest way
This
is
code?
the quickest way is to just point your directory. So copy it, copy it, and you can cut it. I want you to run the get wd command.
Okay.
We want to see where our R is currently pointing. Okay, it is easy. Once you point your R to your working directory where the app is, it automatically configures that. Okay, it picks the name. Run that, enter. So it's inside project 1. We want it to point to the Iris app. So once click on the R script, just click it on the R script.
This is where the folder is opened.
It's okay.
The app is not in this.
It's okay. We can set it right away. Okay, on the fly. Just click on anywhere on the R script. We just want to activate the app.r. Just click anywhere. And now go back to the top menu where it says section. The top menu. We have file, we have edit section, and scroll down to set working directory. Okay, down it. Then to source file. Click to source file. Okay. Now run the get wd command again.
Yeah, I already have it.
Run it again. Get wd. Okay, good.
Can use this.
Get wd. Get wd. No, you need your opening and closing. Good. Run that. Good. So now it's pointing to our Shiny app, and that's the folder where you want it to point. Okay. Once you have this, the next thing is just go and simply run the RS Connect deploy app. Well, you don't even need to paste it there. Okay, you can just take it out. It can get it automatically once you have it set to your working directory. Okay. Can you go ahead to run with this? Okay, so as simple as that, it is doing all the background work to prepare the app. Okay, it's just going to create some images that are easy to store on the server, okay, to manage space and other things. So once that image is successfully created, it will also bind all the packages, the dependencies. Okay, you can see that it says for building, it should be installing packages. Yes.
Yeah,
Installing packages. It's going to install all the packages that our app needs. It will just take a few minutes. Okay, so as we wait for the app to be deployed, is there any question? Please make sure you do this, okay? Before we go out of here, you should be able to have your app, your first Shiny application up and running. So if you are not up to this point, you couldn't catch up, this is the time as we wait for Evans app to deploy. Please go ahead to ask your questions. Successful, good. So your app is ready. Congratulations, Evans.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's how you deploy your app. Okay, you see that it shouldn't be difficult. Okay, once you have the app already developed. Any question at this point? If there's no question, this is what I want you to do, Evan. Just share your app. So copy the URL, okay, and share it in the chat for everyone to visit your app and enjoy it. All right. So you can go and interact with Evan's app. Thank you, Evans. I'll take over from here. Thank you. Any question? Who else was able to deploy it? Okay, someone is asking, Ashley, are you okay?
I'm not okay. Like, I didn't get the code for
Can
the
you share your
deploy.
screen to see where you are?
Okay.
So we are going through the last and important part of Shiny app development. Okay, from our last session, we created an app, and today we are deploying it. Okay, so now Evans, your app is ready. You can go ahead and customize it, okay, and make it your own app so that you just add it to your portfolio. You can go ahead and do other customizations, okay, to it. Now, Ashley, what challenge are you facing? We want to help you that you share your screen.
Can you see my screen?
No.
I'm trying
Are we
to.
able to see Ashley's screen?
Okay.
Okay, so everyone, make sure you get this right from today.
I'm coming. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
So did you copy that code? Good. You already copied the code. Great. So now I'm going over the deployment again.
Okay.
To deploy, we create an account on shinyapp.io. Once you get that account, the welcome page should even give you the steps to deploy your app. Okay, that's how simple they want to make it. And then you go ahead to click to copy to clipboard. You do that. So I can see that Ashley already did that. If you read maybe the top 3 lines up above, you can see that she already did it. She has the RS Connect set account info. Now, the next thing we have to do is what? Deploy. So that after running the set account info, it is going to authorize your system, okay, to be able to make connections to the Shiny app IO server. Now you call the RS Connect package, and inside it, there is a function called deploy app. So you start typing deploy app, okay? You click it right there. And if your working directory is already pointed to where this app is stored, you are good to go. You just run it. Okay, whatever app, but don't run yet. Wherever it is pointing. So let's check your working directory, Ashley.
Okay.
Just clear the code you have. You can copy it and then we paste it later to speed up. Okay, so just type get WD. Once it pops up, get WD, hit enter again.
Okay. Oh, what happened?
Oh, you are still running your app. Can you
Oh,
just
yeah.
click the stop? Look down at the console.
Okay.
There's a red button. That's the stop. Good. Now go back and run the get WD again. Great. So you see where it's pointing. It's not pointing to the Shiny app. Did you create a Shiny Iris app folder?
Yeah, I did. So
Okay.
I
So
already
where is that app.r that I asked you to download? Where is your app?
it's here.
Okay, so just go ahead, go to session. Okay, move your mouse above. It should pop up the menu. You are on
Okay.
Mac, so you don't have the file. The file, go up the way you,
Here.
So R Studio should have, you are missing the menu. Can you see the file where it says file at the top of your
Yeah.
R Studio? There's one that says section.
Oh, yeah, it's here.
Yeah, click on that section go to set working directory to source file. No, to source file.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, error.
Cannot change.
Okay. I changed something, so I'm coming, unless I set it again.
All right, that's okay. So the other thing you have to do is if you can you can copy the paths, okay, to your app. You just provide it to that function and it should work for you.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
But this is the easier, just set to working directory, to source file location. Wait. Cannot change working directory, error in sets. Okay, that is weird. So go back to where you have stored the app. Okay, if you are facing a similar trouble, just follow what we are doing. Go back to where you have the Iris app folder. Can you go to that folder for me?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is where I have it.
I can't see. Okay, didn't share your entire screen. I can't see.
Oh. Um,
Okay, so
so can you see that? This is
all
where I
right,
have it.
good. So this is what I want to. I think you're already there. Workshop 3.
Yeah.
Can you go to your studio again?
Okay.
Oh, it's not point. Yeah, can you do the get WD? Can you just do it's already pointing there. You're already there. You are in workshop 3. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
good. So always before you run good, you are in the right location. So
Yeah.
now just stand there at the prompt and do command or control V to paste the code I asked you to copy before. Just paste it, issue
Okay.
the command, good. So this is the function we need to deploy
Mm.
our app once we have authorized our local system. So just go ahead, hit enter. It will automatically point to that folder, good.
Okay.
So let's see,
Hey, error.
there's an error. Let's see what happened. Oh, it said app.r is not a valid input. Okay, let's see your app.r. Hold on. App. Yes, remember I told you this. To deploy, okay, so this is very important. This error is very important to us all. To deploy your app, make sure you name it app.r. Okay, there should be a folder called app.r. So just rename, save whatever you have done, and rename the app. Take out the -2. Okay.
I don't get
No,
what you mean.
your app, the app where you have your files. Remember, you've named it
Oh,
app
okay.
-2.
Oh, okay. I should rename it.
Yeah. The function expects a file called app.r.
Okay.
That is, if you are using the single file approach. Remember, we saw from day one, we can write all our codes on a single file, or we can also separate them into UI and server. So it expects something app.r, but you have it named app-2. Can you just save your changes? It's red.
Yes,
The file
I've
is
changed.
red. No, you haven't saved. It's all red.
It's still red.
Yes, go back to your R and save the changes.
Okay.
I'm confused here. You have this app.r file and you
Yeah,
have
I just
hyphen. Which one are you working on?
so I should rename this and change it to
Hold on. Relax. Relax. Can you cancel this?
okay.
Cancel this. Click on the app.r. You have one that is called app.r. To the
Yeah,
left.
this one.
Mhm.
That was last week's.
Okay, can you close that
Okay.
and go to your folder where you have the on your computer. Go to your folder.
Okay.
Go to your folder where you set up. Good. So right click on the app.r. Right, click on this app.r, go to open with, open with. Now choose RStudio. Good. It should have taken us to your RStudio.
Yeah.
Let's go there. It should have automatically taken us.
Have to be sharing.
Okay, so good. This app, run it. Let's make sure the app is running.
Okay.
I think you have some issues on your computer. Says what? No such file. Save. Oh, okay. Don't save that one. I don't know. I think that's what is giving you trouble. Just go to don't save. Try running your app again. Because the challenge is when you are running your Shiny app, it tries to save anything you have. Okay, so it's running. Now, let's set the location. Let's try setting the location again. Or just check WD. Just type WD at the console. Stop the app. Get WD. Yeah, run that. Okay, so I think we are the right location, right?
Yes.
Correct? Good. Now paste the code we copied earlier, or you can type rs connect, deploy, run it. Okay, so hopefully it's no, I think it's in a different folder this time. You see now it's going inside the app -2. It's okay. You have another app called by that name, right? So that is it. That's how you go about deploying your app. Any questions? Any questions? If there are no questions, actually,
Option.
yeah, you can stop sharing your screen, but in few minutes, your app should be ready. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ashley and Evans. So I'll take over from here. If there are no questions, I will continue to take us through what we have for today. I think we have some minutes remaining, about what, 40 minutes or so. Okay, so now back to the process again. So we've seen how easy it is to deploy our app. The only challenge is what? Designing or developing your application. So we have seen the basic process that we have to go through to create an app. So the first thing you need to do is what? Just create your app. You can give it a name. I think from today we have learned, okay, it is appropriate to just name it app.r. I don't know if that was the challenge, but it looks like you shouldn't have any trouble finding it, even if you give it a different name. But well, sometimes things like that happen. And especially if you are using the default settings from the functions, okay? Sometimes they are configured to just read a specific file name. But otherwise, to my knowledge, you should be able to save it with any other name, okay? To save yourself any trouble, just name your app.r, okay? The R script, so that it will be easy to deploy. All right, so other things I want you to take note of, okay, from last week, which time didn't allow us, is that I think for now, we have been able to go through the UI, okay? Most of our time has been spent on creating the UI. And in your UI, all that you need is what? You just set up a basic UI. For example, oh, what did I do? Okay, I'm inspecting elements here. No, I don't want that. So the basic thing you need is to set up your UI, which we have gone through extensively, okay? So your UI, which begins with what? The basic function here, fluid page. Then you use any of the layouts. As I shared with you, you can go to the Shiny app website, okay, the POSIT website. You have access to how to set up your page. I shared this file with you as part of the project. Okay, if you click here, application layout guide, it should take you to a page, okay, that walks you through the main ways to set up your UI. Okay, so you shouldn't have trouble with that. Then the next important thing, okay, is what? Your user controls. Your user controls. What functionality do you want to give to your users? Okay, so you use the user controls. And on this app that I just ran, I have a user control, which is what? A drop-down menu that allows me to give options to my user to be able to choose which variable to display on this plot right here on the right. Okay, so those are the user controls. So we have seen that you can use what the inputs. This is a var select inputs control. And this one here to change the title, we also use what? The text input control. Okay, and the third input here, the slider, just as the name suggests, you call it what? The slider inputs control. And these are checkbox inputs controls. Okay, in the legend here, I use the select input control. So at least you are familiar with what? Most of the controls you need to be able to give your user the ability to alter the behavior of your app, okay, through their own interactions. Now, the next important thing is the connection between the inputs here and the output you want to show them. So as I change this, from, okay, let's give it, now you see, I changed the variable. Now we are looking at what the relationship between support width and support length. You see that? So how is R Shiny able to know that I want it to this time plot species? So that is the concept of something called reactivity. And it is a key component of Shiny app development. Okay, I mentioned this last week. So the reactivity is what? How you synchronize the inputs with the outputs. So how do you do that? After your user controls, which we went through extensively last week. So I assume that you know how to set up all these controls for the user. Now the outputs. Okay, so you decide wherever you want to show the output. And per our own design choices, we said that, okay, every app should have what? A left pane panel and a right pane panel. And our left pane will give what? Most of the user input controls, and our output will be targeted at the right. Okay, so that was our design. And inside here, the code, as you see, the main panel is what gives us that output session. So you just come in there and then you think about what output do you want to display. So if it is a plot, like the scatter plot that we have, then you ask yourself, what are the output channels available to me? If it is a plot output, they just have a function here. Okay, it is quite intuitive, very intuitive, I should say. Okay, most of the outputs are named to align with what they do. So this plot output allows you to send a plot output to the app. Okay, just as the name suggests, plot output. So you type that plot output. Once you have your Shiny app, your Shiny package loaded, it should give you all these functions. Okay, just run it. It should give you all these functions. So this is ready to send the output. Okay, so you just name it like that. Then you provide a name or the ID. So this ID is what is going to help you synchronize your input to the output. So let's see how that works. For example, that plot we have, I'm going to comment out this, and you see that there will be an error. Or let me just change the name. Okay, I add something to it. Now let's rerun the app. There will be an error, or the plot might not even show. So you can see the plot is not showing because there is no connection between the UI and the server. Okay, the server is what help us push output to the app. There's no connection. I just disabled that connection. Now let's go back. So if I just undo this, so now we have the name, okay? You run down to wherever you have your server. In our case, we called it a back end. Okay, so here's the back end. It's just a function with these required inputs, okay, input and output. So look at how the connection is created. This is what we call reactivity. So one of the reactive environments is what? Render functions. There are rendering functions. And depending on whatever output you want to send out there, if the output is a plot output, then you have to call the render plot endpoint, okay? Or reactivity expression. This is a reactive context, okay? And the reason why we say it's reactive is that it is able to track any changes that are made on the app, okay? Any changes that occur on the app, you're able to track it. So that is what you need. As simple as that, and then you put all your outputs in there. Is there any question about this important components of Shiny apps? Reactive environment. Okay, so we have the render plots. Just for rendering plots, you can paste your plotting code just as you have it in any report that you are working on. And then we have a render table, which displays what? Data frames. Okay, you can make it will by default, because it's HTML, it will give you a nice looking table. All right, if there are no questions, I want us to go through this process again, just trying to use the few minutes we have to go over the project, okay? So that we will kind of revisit all these main components. So we have to set up the UI, lay it out the way we want, okay? Deciding where to position our input controls, where to position our outputs from the server. And then we synchronize these two input outputs using the reactive programming, okay? Or reactive environments. All right, so this is a project I came out with, okay? I created this project to give you a hands-on experience. And the idea was for you to go through. If you didn't get a chance to go through, we are going to go through step by step today. So the very first thing we need to do is what? Create an app file. Okay, so I'm going to create a file, but to make things easy for me, I'll first create a folder for my application. Okay, so please follow along, okay? This is the code along session. Is there any question before I dive into this code along? Any question about how our Shiny works, the main component, the UI component, the server component, and how to synchronize these two? Is there any question? If you don't have any question for me, I'll go ahead to create a folder for our app today, okay? The project. So I'll just go in here. I'm going to create a folder. And this project, so how do you name your app? It goes back to what? What the project is set up to do, what the app is set up to do. And if you read the description, we said that in this project, the goal is to develop an interactive dashboard for analyzing Twitter, okay? Twitter data. So here, what name do you think would be appropriate? Can anyone suggest something? Any name? Okay, if you don't have a name, I'm just going to call it project, okay? And then inside here, I'm going to point all my files. So create a folder like that and give it a name, okay? That name is the name of your app. And come right here, create an R script. I'll save that, point it to my, that new project folder. So it is inside my workshop project. And then inside it, before I save, remember to name it app.r, okay? App.r. Then I go ahead to save that. Good. The first thing I do, okay, I will set up. Remember the last time I was trying to show you how to create some snippet to help you, but I think we were not lucky on that machine. We set up everything, but it wasn't working. I don't know if my computer is freezing a little bit. Okay. All right, so here we are going to set up, and I already prepared a snippet. Why this? Sorry, my system. Oh, what is happening, I think. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, these are okay. Okay, so I have a snippet, okay, before I start. So this is just an ordinary R script. And then you can go ahead to do whatever you want, okay? But I like to document my app. And like I showed you last time, you can create a snippet and do this, okay? To help you, I'm just going to copy this code for you, okay, to speed up your own development. So I'm copying and pasting this code. So go to the chat. I have this code there. Okay, copy them so that you should also be having what I have here, okay? No cheat. Okay, I just called a cheat, and that cheat, I created it for myself. You can do one for yourself. Just go to Tools, Global Options. You click on Code. You come down to Edit Snippets, and then you create one. So you can see that I have this snippet here. So you can paste what I gave you. You can just, before you paste, just type the keyword snippet, and then you give it a name. So I called my shiny. So you can say my shiny, maybe shiny. You can just say maybe shiny template, okay? Shiny, maybe TMP. And indent it like that, like so. Okay, how I indented, I just hit the tab key on my keyboard and paste the codes that I gave to you, okay? Why this? Okay. These things, okay, just clear this space, okay? You shouldn't be showing this space here, just clear them. Yeah. There are some technicalities, okay, when it comes to text editing. There's something called character encoding. And sometimes when you copy and paste things, they are not in the way that I expected. Okay, so just do that and save it, apply, follow the same procedure. You come here, and remember, I created a new one. I called it shiny temp. You see, it's popping up, shiny temp. You have your own snippet. You click on that. Okay, I think it has some default behavior. I think it's due to the indentation. So make sure you indent it correctly. It should work like this. My shiny template works. You see, it gives me a boilerplate to start from. Okay, good. If you're having trouble doing it, just paste the codes I gave to you. But in the future, you can look more into snippet. Okay, it helps you in your development and documentation. All right, so once we have this like that, you see, we have the main part, the UI part, which starts from here and ends here. The server part, which is the backend, also starts from line 20 and ends on line 30. And then we run the app using the Shiny app function coming from the Shiny package. So go ahead to run, okay, making sure everything works. I hit run. For some reason, it's not running. It's not showing my app. What is happening, okay? It might happen to you. If it happens like that, from my own experience, sometimes you just have to shut down your R Studio and open the file again. But another thing that works for me is go to your console, okay? make sure you are in the correct directory. So right now it is inside this Spring projects. That's not where I want it to be. I want it to point to the new project folder I created. So an easy way is to just go to session, set directory, choose file source. And then I double check that again. So I'm in the right folder now. The reason why I pointed it to this is it makes it easy, okay? When you click this run app, behind the scenes, underneath the hood, RStudio, okay, is just running a function from your Shiny package. So I'm going to run that app. Now it's not working for some reason. It wasn't working, now it's working, okay? But if it doesn't work for you, just follow the steps I did, okay? Point your working directory to the app folder and come here and run, okay? Once you have your Shiny app, this library, Shiny loaded, you can just call a function called run app, and by default, it will run any app inside your current working directory, and we want it to run the one inside our app. That's why it was necessary to run this get directory and then set working directory. Okay, so once you have it like that, just call run app. You don't need anything. All you need to do, just hit enter, and you see it's run my app for me. Okay, so if in the future, for some reason, this run app doesn't work for you, please remember that you have access to the function that is run behind the scenes. Okay, it is run app, run app. Good, our app is running, but I want to point it here so that it help us with our development. So remember, you have the option run in viewer pane. Now I'm able to retarget my app inside my RStudio, okay, by clicking that option. Good, we have hello world. So I want to assume that you are following me and you are doing exactly what I have. You have everything. You succeeded in running your hello world app, okay, from the template. So the next thing is to give the app maybe an appropriate title. And based on that app we have, we can just call it maybe tweet. We can just call it what? Tweet Analyzer or whatever, or Explorer, okay? Tweet Explorer, that is the name of our app. If you reload again, you see it's just updating real time. Now, what is the next thing? Another important thing I want you to learn from this last few minutes we have is that this Shiny app, okay, it is not anything different from what you have been doing before. So the idea is that you already have your code, okay, your analysis. And today, this project was to give you that experience. I went through, we are lucky, I went through to develop the project. So if you have this file, if you followed the link I shared with you to my GitHub repository, it should give you access to all the folders I have, okay, for the workshop. You go to my GitHub repository. You can see that inside here, you go to project. There is a file called final-project.rmd. This file contains all the codes for today's activity. Okay, so in the announcement, I shared a link to this. If you don't have it, just go ahead to download it, okay? Go back to my repository, click on this file, and now you should have the option to download raw file. Click on that button to download the file and bring it or open it inside your RStudio like I have it here. Okay, so the idea is that you already have your analysis. Okay, you have gone through all the analysis. And I'm going to run this analysis that we have. So let's knit the analysis for us to see what we have. And let's say after running the analysis, your client come back to you and said, okay, I want to be able to have this posted, okay, so that our users can, it could be something useful. Today, you are just seeing some plot. It could be a useful thing that your client wants, what maybe their users to be able to have access to and use it. So how do you put this into the app? All the codes are available. Okay, so this is how it works. You set up the main components like that, and then you first plug in the output you have. Make sure the output works. So let's see all the codes that we need. First of all, we have to bring in the data. So if you follow this file that I prepared for you, the markdown file, there is a part where I'm loading the data. Okay, right here. I'm reading the CSV. Okay, but for storage requirements, we will be hosting this app. And on the server, we have limited storage. Okay, we have limited storage. So you don't want to put all your CSV, raw CSV files there. A good thing is to save them in accessible formats, okay, compressed format. And one of them is the R data file format. So what you do is what? Go through your normal analysis process. Whatever workflow you have, just go through it, do your data pre-processing, whatever pre-processing is necessary, and then save the file. So I'm just going to run this here for us today. Let me stop the app. If the app is running, it's hijacks the whole system. You cannot run any other thing. So make sure you stop the app, run this to make sure that all the codes are running. So the data has been imported, and then there is some pre-processing to do. So I run this code to do the pre-processing. Okay, so everything is looking good. Now, if you look at the app, you see down here, the codes that I shared with you on my GitHub, I have this, and by default, I set it to false, not to run. We are going to run it today. So run this to save the data that we just imported and pre-processed, okay? To cut down some of the loading time. You don't want your user to come to your app and some repetitive thing that you could have just done beforehand, it is taking away their time. No. So all the heavy pre-processing, you can do that in your normal R workflow, okay? And then save the pre-processed data. So here, this is what I did. The Obama tweet here is the original data I loaded. And then there is some pre-processing. We had to remove some links. You can see I'm doing it here. Some data cleaning is required. And why do we need that? If you go through, you load the data yourself, you can see that the data needs some cleaning. This is an unstructured data. The tweet or the post is an unstructured data. So we have to put it in a structured format. And one of the things to do is, first of all, remove any links. When people are tweeting, sometimes they include links, but based on the analysis we want to do, we don't want the links. So that's why this pre-processing is necessary. It could be a different pre-processing. Just go through. You don't want your app to be running this pre-processing each and every time. It's not necessary. So run that pre-processing beforehand. And that's what I've done exactly here. Okay, and then save it. So come down here and run. So you run, save this one. It will save it into R data format, which is more compressed. Okay, it will save storage for us on the server. And then run the second line here too to save what? The tweet words. I extracted the words from the tweet, and that's the code here. You can take a very close look, maybe much closer look later. Okay, but you get a point. Okay, do all your data analysis and just get your data in a prepared format, okay, to save some time when the app is up running. So I assume that you've saved it. I already ran that code and it saved them to this folder for me. So I'm just going to copy them. Okay, so that is the Obama tweet and then the tweet words. So I copied those codes and then I paste it in my app, okay? The idea is that I'm going to host this app in the future. So I have to organize everything in the app. So I have my app here. The script file is available. I just paste the data that I prepared for the app, okay? If you point your RStudio to your app folder, you don't need to copy like I did. I had mine pointed to a different folder. That's why I had to copy them. Okay, so make sure you have that pre-processed data. Now, we need to bring in the data inside our app. Okay, so I'm going to close this app and leave this one so that there's no confusion. Okay. So now the app is ready. Let's bring in, import the data. Okay, so if I do get working directory on this app, you see it's pointing to my Shiny app. I called it project. Okay. So let's load it. If you saved it in that compressed format, you just call the function load, and you assume that it's already pointing to your working directory, okay? Your working directory is that app name. Then you go ahead and just get the name of the file you want to load. So what do we want to load? You can copy it like that. You want to load the Obama tweet. So I copy that, come here and paste it. Remember the extension is R data. That's the format. So be sure to add that. And then we load the second one, the tweet words. Okay, because of time, I'm going to speed up. So you load the tweet words, a similar process. Just load, call this load function, and then double quotes. Remember your extension, R data. R is caps, okay? Capital R, capital D, R.data. Run it, okay? If your app is already running, stop the app and run, okay? Run, make sure the codes are running here before you run the app itself. So I've loaded all my data. If you go to your environment, you should see the data available. Let me clear my environment and load them once more, okay, so that we see that those are the only data we have. Good. So what is the next thing to do? Go back to the analysis that you were running before. So what do we need? All this processing have been done, so I don't need it. So I come to what? Tweeting pattern. You want to plug in, just plug in the codes that you already have. And then we think about how to include or incorporate the interactiveness, okay? So what do we need? We have the hourly tweet. Okay. So look at how the code is set up. Deriving hourly tweets. Okay, so you write this code. The assumption is that you've already run this analysis and your hourly tweet is showing. So let's see. Let's run the code. It says what? Error, column hour is not found. Okay, so I have trouble here. It said hour is not found. Why? It's because of this, okay? As part of the pre-processing. So what do I need to do? I think the data that I store doesn't have the hourly tweet, okay? So this is what you can do. That is the code it needs. You can copy this code, or what would be the best option? Let's just save the data again, okay? So I'm going to point my R session. This should give you a hands-on experience, okay? As to what goes into this development process. So you see where this is going? I don't want it to go here. I want to point it to the new project we are creating. Okay. So just click on this app, session. Good. Now it's pointing to the right place. So let's go back to this file and run this code. Hopefully it saves the data there, okay? So I'll change this to true and run this whole chunk again. Okay, I cleared the working directory, okay? Now I can run this chunk again. Good. So I run that chunk. Now let's run this. Good. Now we have our plot. So how do we plug this into the app? We need a code. So just copy this code, okay? Deriving hourly tweet. So I just copy the code like that. You can also copy it if you have the file. And the idea, once again, is that what? You have the analysis ready. Don't come running your analysis in the app. Experiment your project, whatever you want to do it outside of the app. Make sure the code is running, run the analysis, have your report ready, and then you can now plug it in. So today we are plugging in the apps that we have developed. But remember, before you bring the code, let's just save the code like that. It's not going to work. Okay? We have to follow a format. So the format is that we create an output channel. So it is a plot output. So I need a plot output, and we give it what? An ID. We can think of something descriptive. So we say tweet, maybe tweet underscore trend. Okay, tweet underscore trend. And then we can target this. You see, remember, don't forget your commas to separate different components inside the UI. Okay, so I did that. I have my output. I'm targeting the output like that. Then inside the backend, let's load it to see. Okay, let's run. It says still nothing is showing, even though I created this output. I have to create what? A connection, the reactive parts inside the UI. So inside the server. So in here, what do I have to do? I have to call the output. It's a list. And once Shiny runs, the IDs that I provide, IDs inside the plot output, this ID or any output you want to use. If you want to render a table, you do what? The table output like that. And you can give it a name, an ID. So once this app runs, all the IDs I'm giving here, our Shiny will create a list objects, and they'll be available. Okay, sorry, they'll be available here like that. So my outputs, I have to call those IDs on it. So what do I want to target? The tweet trend, and you assign it. Okay, it's like you are loading something into a list. So we assign it. And what function do we need? We are rendering a plot, so we call the render plot. And then you bring this opening and closing curly bracket. You step down like that to make the code readable. All right, now we can bring in our code. Okay, the code that we copied. We have already run our analysis. We know everything is working, and we are plugging it in. So just stand here and paste the code like that. So we paste the code. Let's make sure it has everything it needs. The code needs something, a data called Obama tweet clean. Do we have Obama tweet clean? We assume we are loading it here. Okay, so that should be available. Now let's go ahead to run. Let's reload the app. It says, well, could not find function mutate. Do we understand why? Can someone tell us why this error is happening? Because I'm using what? dplyr functions, and I haven't loaded the package. So go up to the, well, where we are loading our packages and do library dplyr, okay? dplyr like that. All right. What else do we need? We also need the ggplot. If you look at the codes I have, I use ggplot. So I also need a ggplot package. So I'll load ggplot2 like that. Okay. Now let's try reloading the app. It says what? Object not found. Our is not found. Okay. So it looks like the new data we saved is still using the old data. I pointed it to it, but for the sake of time, this is an option. Let's just copy. We know that the code is right here. The code doing the hour. We need to create new features, okay, as part of your analysis. So I just copy that code, and right after loading my data, I'll paste it here. So the hour should now be available. Okay, so it looks like the Shiny is having some trouble. It says what? Caused by error in hour. Could not find function hour. Good. When you meet errors like this, don't be scared. Okay, it's part of the development. So what is that? There is an hour function I'm calling. By default, there is no function called hour in the base R session. So I ran this code. I created this code and I know where this hour function is coming from. There's a package called lubricate. Okay, it helps you to work conveniently with dates, date data. So that hour function is coming from lubricate. Okay, so you load that, and now it says what? It still cannot find percent. Good. Okay, I know where that percent function comes from. Sometimes you can, if you come here, you can see that a formatted word. Look at the output. Don't worry about the time. This is necessary, okay? You see, if you look at the y-axis, I have percent of tweet, and you can see that there is a percentage sign attached. How do you do that in ggplot? You can use a function called percent format, which is available in a package called scales. Okay, so even today, you are learning other packages you can use in your own analysis. So the package is called scales. Now load it like that, and then run the app again. Good. We have our app, and our first word. Let's open it up. Let me just increase this here. Open this app. So our app is now running, and we have our first output, the tweet pattern. So what is the next output we want to give per our analysis? We said we want to what? Also provide this. We'll come back to this. This is what? Giving the ability to also visualize what? All the tweeting pattern for the various years, okay, for ease of comparison. So what can we do? You can just copy the codes. Okay, just copy them. That's how you do your development. Plug in the existing code that you have. Let's plug it in. So we create another output. We haven't laid out our app so well. So you can lay it out. How do we do that? Let's just call fluid. Remember fluid row. Inside fluid row, call your column. I want to do some divisions and divide it into two equal halves. And then I can create what? A plot output channel here. What do? I give it an ID. So what name should you give it? Think about what you want to show in the app. The name should be what? Descriptive. So I want to show the yearly trend. Okay? Yearly. By default, what I have here is what? A summary of all the tweeting patterns from 2014 to 2020. But that's not what I want. Okay? So remember to separate different components. So I put this one here like that. And then I can create another column. Okay? I'm dividing this into two main columns. 6, 6. Okay, we've already explained the concept behind why I'm using 6, 6. Now copy this one, paste it here. Don't forget your comments. They'll mess you up, okay? Separate different parts of the UI with comments. Now, I need a comma here too, as well. So the yearly trend, we have the output. The target is here. Let's go inside our backend. Step here, okay, inside the backend server function. Over here, you don't need any comma. Just type the output. So output dollar. What name did we give to it? We say yearly trend. Okay, and then assign that to the rendering function. So render plot, and then bring this one, open it up for readability. Go to your analysis code, copy that, and then we plug it in. Okay, so we plugged in our second, reload the app. All right, so it says what object not found. Let's see why it says object not found. So let's just look at the code. Look at the code I copied. It's only copied geom line, okay, which is not all the code I want. When errors happen like that, don't be afraid, okay? Just read the error or go through whatever analysis you have. And today, if you are okay, I would like to just take maybe like 30 minutes or 20 minutes of your time to go through more of the development process with you if you are okay. If not, we can end here. We have like 2 minutes. Okay, but you get the point. So plug in your existing analysis codes. Okay, so it loads. I have two. Now let's open it in full window. Run external, run again. Okay, it's misbehaving. If it happens like that, make sure you set this to run in external. Stop the app from running. And then if our working directory is already pointing to where we want it to point, just run app and it will help you. You see, we have the two. So, is there any question you have for me at this point? If not, you can follow the same. You see, there are the other parts of the app. We have the tweet words. You can just copy that and plug it in. Don't be afraid. Copy the entire code. But before run it, make sure it is working in your analysis. Then you follow the same step. So you decide where do you want to put it. So now I already have, look at the format. I already have what, two main what? Columns. Now I want to bring something down. However you want to divide it, just think about it. Okay, so I want to go for this simple structure today. So I can create another row, okay? I'll step here, create another fluid row, and divide that into two columns again for additional plot. So 6, 6. You can watch the previous videos to understand why. And then I need what? A plot output. What name do I want to give it? This is the common words. So you can just call it common words like that. So you are done with what? That's all you need for the UI part. And remember to create the connection. So we come down to our server. We call the output. The name we give to it is what? The ID is common words. We do that. We assign this to a render plot function. Okay, you open it up for readability and paste your analysis code. So let's see, do we need an hour here? Let's read the code. Top words, the tweet words, frequency. We don't need an hour component. So let's load it. I think it should, let's see if we are lucky. Okay, so everything run again. Good, and we have the most common words. You go to external, look, our app is coming up. So that is it, as simple as that, okay? Now, as a bonus, we are just going to run the sentiment analysis code before we leave, okay? So let's plug in the sentiment analysis code. It's also available here. Just scroll down. The word cloud is there. If you want to do the word cloud, it's also simple. Just copy that, okay? You see that once you have your analysis ready, it shouldn't be difficult to plug in the app. Okay, so I'll just plug that one to here. I'll just come down here. Okay, let me show you something. I'll leave that division and create another division down here to tell you, you have control. You decide whatever you want to do. Okay, so column, as simple as that. You can do a complicated layout in the future. And here I need a rendering output. So I just do render, and this is going to be my word cloud. Okay. As a bonus, you know how to create a word cloud as well. So I just give it a word cloud. Let me do one for the sake of time for the sentiment analysis. So I also give it a 6 like that. We come down here, we do a plot output. We give it an ID. Let's just give something that we can remember. Okay, when we are in the server. So what should we call it? We can just say sentiment. Okay, sentiment. That is it. Now we are done with the UI part. Let's go to the server. Just step wherever you did your last reactive environment. And then this is our common words, the word cloud. Okay, so this is the word cloud. You can comment for easy readability, okay, just to aid that. So this is my word cloud. I call the output $word. Just remember the ID. We gave it word cloud, assign it to a radar plot function, just like that, and paste the word cloud code. Don't paste so much, okay, just do incrementally. Let's see if our word cloud is showing. Now let's plug in the last sentiment. Go back to the analysis code. The sentiment codes are here. We need some pre-processing for the sentiment analysis, but I'll copy all of it. Okay. I don't have time to explain this, but it should be, I think I included some comments. So later, if you're going through by yourself, you should be able to understand. In sentiment analysis, you have to tokenize your words. We've already tokenized the words in the data pre-processing. And then you have to use sentiment. So some researchers have already come out with sentiment. They assign sentiment to words. So let's say if I say the word come, what sentiment can you give to it? Is it neutral? Is it positive, negative? So people have already done that. And in R, there's a library called tiny text. So remember to load that library. We need it for the sentiment analysis. So library tiny or tidy. I think it's tidy text. Okay, tidy text, load tidy text. And once you load it, you have access to what? Most text analysis functions. So I copy that code and then we plug it in here. Let's target it in our server side. We do the outputs again, $. What name did I give to it? Sentiment. Okay, this is where the descriptive names are very necessary. Without going up in the UI, I already know the ID I provided. So plot like that, and then I plug in the sentiment codes. So let's run. Now, okay, we still had a word cloud. Okay, so the word cloud is showing again twice. We had that on the clipboard. Remember, we need the sentiment dimensions. So you copy this code here first. Where are the sentiments? Okay, good. Okay, so here are the sentiments. You need this code for the sentiments. And I think, for some reason, when you deploy the app, the sentiment code here doesn't work. You know, here, this function gets sentiment. So a good thing, a trick I found is just save it in R format. So already saved that one. I'll just go and import it. You can save it using the same process I used to save the other ones. Okay, so you save it. I called it NRC sentiment. There are different sentiment dimensions. Okay, you can read on it later if you're interested in sentiment analysis. Okay, so I paste that code here. And now what that helps me is all the code I need is this. I need this one. I copy this, plug it into my app. So, okay, I think I already have it. I copied that with the word cloud. So I'll just delete that. And remember, this will give you errors. So delete that one and save the data in your analysis codes, okay? And just copy that data in the R format. So how do I call it? So that's what I'm using here, sentiment. Let's load remember to load it. Okay, so how did I call it? Go back to your folder, the NRC, but to make your life easy, you can just click on copy it, and then you load. So we load our sentiments. Okay, sentiment dimension. It tells you whether, let me uncomment this and load it. Sorry, let me stop the app and load again. It says what? There is no such file. Okay, remember I forgot to include what? The extension. So you have to bring our data, okay? If that is the format you saved it in. So good, it's loaded. Now look at my environment. My environment has this one. And if you open it, it just has signs. You look, abacus, it says what? It connotes the sentiment of what? Trust. Abandon is fear. Abandon is negative. So these are all dimensions. So let's see how it works with our app. So I'll copy. I already have the code that's the sentiment summary. So it's here. Okay, you can go through it. Now this is the code that creates the plot. So I just copied that code. We are going through a normal flow. Okay, you have your analysis, you plug it in. That's the first step. And then you think about the interactions. So let me just come here after getting my summary. I include a plot. Let's run to make sure everything is running. Okay, so it's not running. It says, well, could not find function spread. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. And now could not find function word cloud. Interesting. I thought it worked before. But if something like that happens, no fears, okay? So it tells us that, but it's quite strange because at first, the word cloud ran, but no problem. We can just come here and load those required libraries. There's a library called word cloud, okay? And then there's the spread function is coming from a library called tidy. So library tidy R. Tidy R. You can learn more about it. It helps you. Tidy R and dplyr helps you in your data preprocessing. They are very useful coming from the tidyverse ecosystem. So you can look it up. Good. See, we have everything. So this is what I wanted you to do. Look, so by default, we have only two sentiments, the positive dimension and the negative dimension. And you can see that President Obama's tweets are what? More positive. There are more dimensions depending on the dimension. Sorry, there are more sentiment dimensions depending on the dimension you use. I use one called the one that has only the binary. You can save other ones and use, okay, later. All right. So you see how the workflow goes. We have our app working, but there's no interaction. This is just a report. So how do we, let's include one interaction. We are going to work with the first app, the first trend. So how can we include interaction? You need what? The input control. So let's go to the UI part. And now, where do we want to put the input control? Today, we are using a simple layout. So we just want to include the input control right above the plot. So which one do I want to target? Here, I step right here. And this is where, so this is the output part, okay? Remember, everything has the output input. Now we can bring in the input controls like that, input control for the trend. Okay, so what input do we need? What do we want to do with this plot? Now we want to change the years, okay? So I think it will be good. This is where you start thinking, what feature, what functionality do you want to give the user? Now, if you follow the link to the app, I already hosted a version of it. You realize that there is a functionality for the user to be able to change the year. By default, all these are giving us what? With the exception of the yearly one here. The rest of the plot are just a summary of all the tweets from 2014 to 2020. So wouldn't it be nice if the user can just look at individual years? So, okay, that is something that you want. Now, let's see how we can create it. So we give a global yearly input. So you can put it above all. So right after the title, I'll make use of this HR function we saw the last time to just give me a horizontal line division, okay, like a divider. And then I'll give what? A global, so this is a global input control to change what? To change the tweet year. I just do that. And how do I want it? I want to call input, sorry, I want to use a select input control. Okay? Select input control. As usual, just like the output, the input to have got what? IDs. So what ID? I can call this what? Maybe tweet year. The tweet year, like that. And what do I want the user to see? I'll just say select year. Okay? As simple as that. Now, if I reload the app again, we can see that loading required package. There's something weird happening. Okay, lubricate is working. Our color brewer. Okay, I don't know why it's behaving like that, but just load the R color brewer function. Sorry, package. Okay, now there is unexpected behavior. If that happens, remember what I showed you, use this run app option. And it says what? Error. Choices missing. Good. Our input is missing something. Okay, which is fine. So we just provide the choices. What choices do we want? We want the unique years. Okay, so I just call any of the data sets we loaded. We can call the Obama tweet clean and extract the dates. Let's say if there's a year component. Is there a year? Yes, there should be a year, okay, when we run this code. So I just extract the years like that, and I'm taking the unique. There are thousands of observations, but I just need the unique years. Okay, so let's run this again. Go to the console, run app. You can see that I have the year. Now, when I click it, I choose, but nothing is happening. There is no sync between the input and output. So you remember what I said from the beginning. We have to establish the connection. So I have my input. Let's go to the plot. So how do I want the code to run inside the back end? I want this code to run with some relationship, okay, to the out input. So I come to my plots. How do I want it? I just want to run this code such that whenever the user, by default, when the user loads the app, it shows them everything. But if they choose the particular year, it should what? Give them that specific year. So what we can do is what? This is your own analysis choice. So what do we do? One way I can think of this is what? I will provide.
William.
Yes.
William, I think we should be wrapping up. It's time. So we should
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So just let me finish this part. So the input control, everything works the same way. If you want to bring other input controls, it works in a similar way. Okay, so we just want to provide maybe or, okay, which means that by default, it will show them all the plot. So I load this. You see that by default, I have all. So I go to the code and you just have to write a code to what? Listen to this. So look at that as I demonstrate. So in here where I'm loading the app, I will create a data, okay? This introduces us to some of the reactive environment. So I'll just say tweet, or I'll just call it this tweet, or this year, okay, this year tweet. Any name, this year tweet, and then I'll create a reactive environment so that I can use the data elsewhere. Okay, you can create your own. The render plots is one that is already created for you. You can create your own. I'm creating one for a data. So you do this, and then we can write your normal function. So if the input, okay, this is where I extract the input. I called it what? Tweet, tweet what? Year. So you call that input. If this one equals all, if it is all, then assign, okay, I'll say that I'll return the Obama tweet clean. I'll return everything. Else, what do I want to do? I will just call the Obama tweet data, okay, Obama tweet clean data, and just filter, okay? I'll filter for the specific year. So filter, and then we'll say that what? Year is a column name, okay? So year equals the input year that the user selected. And remember, we named that input tweet underscore year. So just like that. Just go back to the UI to confirm. We call it tweet year. So that is great. Now, we have this data. There's no connection yet. So come down here and change inside the plot function. We created our own reactive context. So here, instead of the Obama tweet clean, the original data, change that to what? This year tweet. And one thing you have to note, whenever you create your own reactive expression, they are actually functions. Okay, so to call them, you bring the opening, closing. This is a data set, like a data frame, but because it's coming from a reactive expression that we just created, I need this opening, closing parentheses. And now everything should work fine. Let's see. Good. So by default, it's showing all. Let's change to, let's say, 2019. You see that the first part is responding. You see? And we have included interaction. You can do the same thing for the other plots as I wrap up. So you see how you just get the inputs, and we have made use of the year input. We can apply it to, let's say, even this words. Let's say by default, it is showing. So the same thing, what do we have to do? We just change, we have to do one for the tweet words. Okay, so you just come up here, create a reactive expression, and we can call this tweet words, and assign it to a reactive. We are creating our own reactive. And then almost the same thing, copy this code, paste it here, but this time the data should change to the tweet words. You come here, call the tweet words like that, and then we filter. If it doesn't have the year, I think by default it doesn't have the year, so copy this one too and append the year to it. Okay, as simple as that. So you call tweets words and the same name here. So they should create a year for you. And now inside the reactive environment, we can filter by year like that. And now when I go down there to where I'm rendering the plots, where is the render for the rendering for the tweet, the most common words? So I will change this to the new reactive expression I created. And that part should also respond. Okay, so I'll end here. That is, I hope this gives you a fair idea of what goes into. So you see, when I change the year, the two plots are responding, and we can attach this behavior to all the other plots. You can see the plot is attached, it's responding. I'll go ahead and finish the app, add more interactions and user input, and then I'll upload it to my GitHub repository so that later you can also have access to it and deploy as your second application. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, William, for such insightful workshop. So we are hoping that everything will be ready and we will get you we'll go to your GitHub and other relevant websites for the documents. Dr. Zamora, is there any announcement?
No, I don't have anything. I'll just, if you guys can stop by to meet the colloquium presenters today, please do so at 1:30 in room 143. I'll see you all.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, William.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Hope we'll see you next week.